only 10 minutes late, Matt.
We're getting better. We're getting closer.
You know, you and I are both really professional people in other areas. And then it comes to this podcast. It's like, 10 minutes, wrap it up.
That's fine. That's what makes it so fun. It's playing into the name, 3 a.m. Coney. You could be drunk. You could be hungry. You could be tired. But we make it work.
Yeah, I've had too much coffee today because this Sunday night game has given me some anxiety. But we got to talk about what happened first before we move on to Sunday night, just to get our recaps out there.
We talked about before when the Bengals were 0-2 that we were hopefully we were going to be coming on this podcast and talking about how they are 2-2. They're looking a lot better. They are figuring it out.
Yeah, because the 5-day stretch, we do a show on Wednesdays. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty much it's us. You're welcome.
2-2, first place in the AFC North. I mean, I know Browns fans are like, oh, we're first place, but we all feel like we're in first place.
No one cares, Cleveland.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody
because
cares.
Even if the Browns win on Sunday, I don't even know who the Browns are playing. I'm so dialed in on this Bengals-Ravens game right now. But if the Browns win, and let's say the Ravens or the Bengals win, whoever wins the Ravens-Bengals game on Sunday night, the media is going to come out and say, hey, AFC North was won because of what the Bengals did on Thursday night. Because of the Tua thing, them winning by 15 against a good Dolphins team kind of like isn't in everybody's head yet. But if they go out on Sunday night and have a massive victory, people are going to go back to Thursday and go, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater did play pretty well. And, look at the Dolphins with Teddy Bridgewater. They won on Sunday. And wow, look at the Bengals, 3 straight wins, extra point away from 4-1, yada, yada, yada. They can talk themselves into it. And that's the opportunity that really presents itself because of how they played on Thursday night and the way they've really been playing, Matt, since they were down 14-3 against Dallas. I think since that moment, they've played really well.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't hurt that Cooper Rush has the Cowboys rolling.
Yep.
But, yeah, absolutely. Everything that happened with Tua, with the clips that we saw in the game prior, and then we see how he's on the field, like, that made my stomach turn. That is definitely not something that you want to see in a football game on either side. And so, I mean, that was definitely my feeling throughout the rest of the game was great. The Bengals are winning, but I hope the Tua's okay.
Yeah, and I think it affected the Bengals just as much as it did the Dolphins. If not, you could make an argument more so because the Bengals are a team full of good guys, great guys. Same thing with the Dolphins. I think there were a lot of like great human beings on the field, right? Mm-hmm. So the team that has the great human beings that injured the player, everybody's like, oh man. And a defense that's built on intensity, it can kind of be harmed. Like we've talked about on this show how many times, Matt, the Bengals defense is based on intensity. And you kind of lack intensity. And the one touchdown the Bengals have given up in the last 30-odd drives was the drive immediately following Tua's injury. Yeah. The Dolphins flamed out on that drive. It was 3rd and 16 when Tua got hurt. And then the next drive, Dolphins come out and score. The only touchdown that's been scored on the Bengals since it was 14-3 Dallas. So, you kind of look at that and go, yeah, the injury was horrible for everybody. It had a big effect on the game, but it had a big effect on everybody. And I think that the Bengals are going to get a lot more credit for that game as the season goes along because I think the Dolphins are a great team. And the same thing with Cooper Rush and the Cowboys and the Steelers. I talked about how good those pass rushes were. Mm-hmm. And now everybody's like, hey, these are great pass rushes. Even if the Steelers and Cowboys are losing games. When the Steelers get TJ Watt back, there'll be a much more formidable opponent. And the Cowboys are getting their respect defensively. So the path out of this hell that 0-2 was, that like, I was like, therapy's getting a little expensive. And then after 0-2, I was like, you know what? They could double the price on me right now. I got to stay in this thing. But the 0-2 hell that we were all in, we're out of now. And even if they lose this game to Baltimore, it's not a 5-alarm fire. Season's over.
Yeah, I mean, you were expecting them to be maybe 3-1 going into this game. But it's
They
with
should
both
be.
teams. Yeah, they absolutely should be. They Clark Harris had not gone out, they would have beaten the Steelers, and then they would be 0-4 right now. But having this game be the Ravens Bengals fighting for the top of the AFC North. I mean, I don't know what Browns fans are. They're winning games.
They're a good team, but here's the thing.
But they are not. I do not think that they are going to be on the same level,
So
and they're not going to be fighting for the top of the AFC North.
I think that in terms of if you're playing the Bengals, the Browns are a better team than the Ravens. But the Ravens are a better team than the Browns because of Lamar Jackson. But the Bengals are kind of half designed for Lamar. That's why there's Logan Wilson, and you have Dax Hill that you drafted, who might play a little more because they're playing 3 safety sets with Lamar Jackson.
Hopefully.
This might be the Dax Hill game. I don't know. I'm not going to hype it up. But
I'm not going to hype it up. I can feel your energy. You want to hype
just
it up.
real quick, before we get to Joe Burrow's completion percentage feat, because we're going to talk about the Ravens game, and God knows that you and I can go a long time. Well, it's mainly me. Let's be honest about it.
I just love hearing myself talk.
T. Higgins on Thursday night, Matt, asked to step up one-on-one against one of the best corners in the league and just mossed him multiple times down the field. Great player. Really incredible player. You could make an argument he's been better than Jamar Chase, or maybe Jamar is attracting more attention, but
I think that's it. And I mean, we saw cases where Jamar's getting double teamed, triple teamed, and then it's T one-on-one on the outside, and Burrow's just throwing it up. And I mean, we saw Higgins get those catches last season where you see Joe, he's like putting it in a good spot, but Higgins just going up and getting it or fighting and making sure that it's either his ball or it's fallen to the ground. And Higgins has looked fantastic, and now he's in the underrated wide receiver. And I know that that Jamar Chase is going to have his game. It might be this one against this Ravens secondary, but
I don't know.
You don't think so?
Well, this thing's going to be a bloodbath, man. Like, I don't know if there is a explosion of 40-something points coming. This is going to be a fist fight. Like, this is going to be a legitimate tough game coming up. So, I'm glad that they were able to get this rest before. That's why winning that game on Thursday was so huge. You've got good vibes going to the weekend because Joe Mixon comes out and is like, hey, man, we're going to be fine. I'll run the ball, even though he's like dreadful. And we'll talk about that a little later in the show.
Are we jumping to that now, or are we?
No, we need to do the completion percentage feed before we get lost.
Let's jump to that first.
Let's get to
8
it
minutes
right now.
a segment, and then we'll only do this for 4 hours.
Yeah, I know. We could do it for 4 hours. First off, we want to thank everybody for getting us to 1,600 followers. I really appreciate that. Matt really appreciates that. All of
Beautiful.
Cincinnati appreciates that, I imagine. And a lot of people here all over the place. This tweet was very simple, and I love when the simple stuff goes viral, Matt, because it's just information. And we want to shout out Joe Goodberry. He gave it a retweet.
Just got another like as we're looking.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't that cool to watch happen live? I love it.
That's
Flip
this
that
is why
out.
you do
I'm
it
send
live,
it to my
baby.
mom. Mama Lukas is going to be very proud. So Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers, I believe, are up as of right now. When I tweeted this, it was before the Sunday game. So Josh Allen, it could be at 6 and Aaron Rodgers at 13. But look at Joe Burrow at 25, second longest in NFL history. 6 behind Drew Brees, Matt. 6.
Yeah,
that's it.
Drew Brees at 31.
Mm-hmm. And 60% in 33 of 34 career games. Do you know the game he wasn't, Matt?
Well, at 25, looking back, that's got to be the middle of rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, tell me.
Pittsburgh, rookie year.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So when he got blown out, he started really just throwing the ball over the yard.
He was what, at like 50?
52 around there. So even still above 50%. But 33 out of 34 is incredible for 60%. That's such a high floor, man. And especially when you look at the A dot, which how nerdy of a stat is A dot, the average depth of target. Him to have this level of accuracy throwing this much down the field is really incredible, Matt. And at this young point in his career, Like, I think that this stat is pretty inarguable to me, that he's already one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history and one of the most decisive decision makers. And we've seen so many stats of this flavor for Joe Burrow, whether it's the completion percentage over expectation, whether it's tight window throws, whether it's contested catch situations where somehow randomly his wide receivers are really good at contested catch because the ball's in the perfect spot every time. Like that's kind of the secret sauce of it all with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And I think we talk about expected completion percentage. Shout out Will Lutz. Weeks 1 to 2, here's Joe Burrow. So EPA is estimated points added. CPOE is completion percentage over expectation. Adjusted EPA is whatever they adjust it. You get it. Low rankings. Now he's got high rankings. It's a pretty easy transition for us to see that Joe Burrow is already back to who he was last year.
Yeah, it just needed the one game to get adjusted to not having an appendix anymore. That's it. Now he's back.
The game and a half, So I think he's fully adjusted. Like I'm back to, knock on wood, as hard as you can. Those at home, all around, everybody knock, 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 knock on wood. My mom does this.
Knocks on your head.
Yeah, it's a pretty cruel life.
My mom beat me.
No, I'm just kidding. But knock on wood, I'm back to I don't worry about Joe Burrow. I worry about what's going to happen with the rest of the team, which really brings us to the main question of the Cincinnati Bengals. The question, Matt, that defines whether this thing can be a freaking dynasty or not. And I know that this is a late night shot during the day Bengals podcast, and we can get hyperbolic here. But genuinely, Joe Burrow is going to be a quarterback that is performing at a 105 passer rating floor. If you do 105 passer rating floor plus a top 10 defense, which every metric indicates the Bengals will be, if you combine a top 15, top 10 running game to it, you're going to be Super Bowl contenders, dynasty potentially, if your quarterback can make the big throws in the big moments, which we've already seen Joe Burrow do. So Joe Mixon right now, Matt, is the difference. Because right now he is the worst running back in the league by every metric. And it's the offensive line's fault, but it's not that bad by the offensive line. He is the separator from this team being an 11-6, very similar to the Bills last year. Oh, they're so dangerous. The quarterback's so good. Why can't they win close games? Why do they keep losing by field goals at the gun? Why can't they keep elite quarterbacks off the field? Oh, because they cannot run the ball. This is the center of it all. So it's really what's going to make or break whether this team is playing the AFC Championship in the jungle or not. That's really the question that we have facing us here, because every AFC contender on the schedule. So if you want to be home field for the AFC title game, it's in front of you. But if you can't run the ball, you won't beat Kansas City. You won't beat Buffalo on Monday Night Football. You'll struggle to beat the Ravens both times. You'll be lucky to beat another elite quarterback they have down the stretch. I think they got a couple of them down the stretch. So but I just don't know what they're going to do, Matt. How are they going to get better?
This needs to change, and we haven't seen any of that Mixon magic or being able to get hit, get through a tackle, and then get those extra yards. It seems like he's just kind of falling forward for 2 or 3, and he's not really. I can't tell if it's the offensive line or if it's him, but he definitely seems to have lost a little bit of that pep in his step. And then we had a little bit of the Samaje Perine and Chris Evans talks, and it's at what point do you start having them do more? Because in that drive where they were just trying to run out the clock, you had Perine out there getting 7 yards a carry. You're just like, game's over. They can't stop him. They know we're running it, and they can't stop him. And that's not what would have happened with Mixon. So what do they have to do?
I don't know. And I just wonder, there were some weird quotes there end of the offseason about the Super Bowl, and we've seen, You remember Marshawn Lynch when he didn't get the ball? It's like, well, Joe Mixon was standing on the sideline on the last drive of the Super Bowl, and they handed it off to Samaje Perine twice in the last drive of the Super Bowl.
That's not what you want. You want your RB1 to be the RB1.
No, and running back is a confidence position. And I think that moment saps some confidence out of Joe Mixon. And confidence is very much Joe Mixon's, it's what channels that animal. And so my plea to Joe Mixon is understand that Zach Taylor's decision-making is completely separate to what your talent is as a back. Like, you got to believe in yourself, man. You got to break some tackles. You got to be mean. You got to be a monster. And like, it's got to come from somewhere inside. And the only reason I'm saying this is because every data point indicates that he's going to fall off a cliff now. So he's got to find it. He's got to find it quick, or Joe Mixon isn't the running back for this team next year. That's the situation Joe Mixon's in. 2.8 yards per carry is death in the NFL. He is 35th in almost every key metric out of 35. Like, he is truly an anchor to the offense at this point. And that has to change Sunday night, or Joe Mixon's in trouble for snaps, and the Bengals are in trouble to win close games, to win this division, to host any playoff games. Like, Joe Burrow will get him to the dance, but if you can't run the ball, you're not hosting the AFC Championship, which was the goal of this season, which was kind of the vision we all had. And if the running game collapses, it's so hard. Look at the Bills last year. Everybody loves the Bills, Matt. They lost 6 games. Why? Can't run the ball.
Couldn't run the ball. Yep.
Can't run the ball.
Well, while we're talking about running the ball and tosses, how do you feel about Zach Taylor calling these 4th and short run plays?
I don't know.
Saying after the game that if I would have,
that's the worst call I've ever made. And
worst call. If that would have gone through, though, that would have been great. The very next game, the very first 4th down they go for, it's the exact same fucking play.
Yeah, I love Zach. Zach is sometimes almost hilarious in his ineptitude.
That made me laugh because I wanted. I think he did that on purpose because he wanted it to work, and then he wanted to be able to, in the post game, go, see?
Yes, it wasn't the worst call I ever made.
50-50.
But like, Zach is so innocent.
And it didn't work.
Zach is very innocent in every mistake he makes, and that's what makes him a good coach, is that he's always seeking to get better. And he really does care, and I know they put in the hours. And so you have that and Joe Burrow, I think it creates magic. And we've already seen that. We've said it, and it happened. Like, I think that they're going to be able to run the ball. They're not going to be great at it, but they're going to get to a point where it's an effective enough running game to be that type of team they want to be. So for me, like, my preseason levers, the passing game, they're struggling more with cover 2 than I expected, but I think a lot of it was the appendix. The appendix kind of brought down the passing game. But the passing game is what I expect, highly explosive, and I think it'll continue to be that. The running game is like, I didn't see this coming at all. Like, absolute, complete blindside. That even though this offensive line doesn't have chemistry, Matt, just run the damn ball. Like, I don't understand. It's something that Ben Jarvis Green Ellis could do. Like, it's something that, and it's just been a real, that floored me that happened. The defense is much better than I expected. They could be an elite top 5 defense. And that's something that I didn't expect. I thought they'd be top 10 maybe. But if they take the ball away like this and stay healthy, they can be a genuine top 5 defense that stops elite quarterbacks, which, speaking of that, can they stop Lamar Jackson? Because this is their first real test, Matt. This is their first opportunity to prove, no. It's not just backup quarterbacks. We're a freaking awesome defense.
Yeah, so far, the quarterbacks that they have faced
are pretty...
But 2-2. And they know, so the Super Bowl hangover is over. This is the first true test. If you want to win the AFC North, you got to show it right now.
Yeah. And I think that the defense specifically has a national media. Listen, this defense has kind of been asking for respect quietly. You know, they've said it in the press conference. You know, they say, oh, we don't care about our respect. But it's like, man, the defense is overlooked. The coaches kind of seek it out. Hey, it's our defense. Joe Burrow says it. Hey, our defense carries us. Our defense, our defense, our defense. The entire team has been asking for the media to realize that this Bengals defense is an elite unit, and that's what carried them to the Super Bowl. But they won't do it. And it's because they haven't demonstrated it on a national stage against an elite quarterback, right? Think about it. The AFC Championship game, Mahomes 21 points in the half. The divisional round, it looked like Tannehill was peeing down his leg. Nobody really watched the wild card game or remembers it. You had the Chiefs, they scored 31 points. They had 28 points. Like, you have all these things that the national media thinks the Bengals defense isn't great. If you on Sunday night shut down Lamar Jackson, the anointed week 3 MVP of, he's going to run away with the award. If you shut down Lamar Jackson and his house forced the Ravens to go to 6 straight home losses, and you're an underdog, and it's because of the defense, like that, now you'll gain your respect. And that'll really change the perception of the Bengals as a whole. Because if the national media thinks the offense is inconsistent, but they're really explosive, but that defense is elite, and they have championship experience, Matt, what else are you supposed to think? You're going to think, oh, well, they can win the Super Bowl. So that's what this game means from a narrative perspective for the defense and stopping Lamar Jackson.
Ravens, 3 points. Total at 47.5. Which way are you going? You said this is going to be a bloodbath, a fist fight, I
wish the Ravens got an extra. I wish the Ravens got an extra half point there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Vegas doing but that indicates to me, I think Vegas likes the Bengals. And I think that Vegas feels that there's going to be some money on the Ravens. So they give you the -3. They don't make you take the hook. They'll give you the push if it's a 3-point loss. I mean, only a 3-point win for the Ravens. So they can, I think this number might come down to 2.5. I don't know which way it's going to move. I'm so interested. Like, I don't know how people are going to react to the Bengals and Ravens both being at 2-2.
There's got to be some money going on the Bengals, at least the Bengals money line. But
yeah.
If
the Ravens were -3.5, I'd be all over the Bengals.
I am going to go with a 3-point Bengals win.
3-point Bengals win.
They love 3-point games.
That's
They're
true.
their favorite. So I'm going to say we'll go 24-21.
And I'm so not ready to make a prediction. This game is so in my head. No, but
you can change it. You can make early prediction now and then change it later if you want to.
No. I predicted 27-24 last week.
Yeah.
Bengals over Dolphins. I love the way the Bengals sound in their press conferences because whenever they talked about the Ravens before this week, it was kind of sharp. Like, oh, we love playing the Ravens. Division rival, they talk a lot. And then this week, oh, I got friends over there, and it's a great love environment, and they're fun to play. Like, I love their attitude because I think they really care about this game. I think they're really coming together as a team. But the Ravens are really, really ticked off from last year. And the red dot is a semi-real thing, even though Bart Scott was being off his rocker on ESPN. I think that makes this a really difficult game for the Bengals. But I think they win. And I just am going to take them in the points because I think that even if they don't win, it's some overtime loss by 3. I'm going to take the Bengals 31-27. Okay. 31-27. And I think that the defense gets a lot of credit. I don't think the defense is going to shut down Lamar Jackson. And I think that they're like the 7th to 9th best defense, and the 7th to 9th best defense does a good job situationally against Lamar, but he's still going to score some points. But if the Bengals, if they blow him out, Matt, this show, I'm gonna be off a cliff. We're gonna be sailing.
I'm gonna be off a cliff. That's a good analogy there. I think over the moon, maybe.
Yeah, we had an episode last year after they beat the Ravens, and it was titled "Dream." You can now dream the Bengals' dream. And the team has said this week that was kind of the moment for them too, of like, hey, we can win it all. Like, if they do something special Sunday night, run the ball, play great defense. Joe Burrow looks great. It is a statement win on a Sunday night on the road.
Yep.
The title of the next podcast will be, We Are Dreaming the Bengals Dream. Because everything will click. You're 3-2, and they might not look back, and they might win the AFC North handedly with the way the division's shaken out.
That's what I would love to see.
That is what I would love to see. So, you got our predictions jotted down? 31-27. You're going to tweet that out?
I'm tweeting them right now.
All right. Go follow us on Twitter so that you can see that and all our other tweets.
Tell us how wrong our predictions are.
Yes. We got a lot of fun stuff on Twitter, so make sure you give us a follow. We want to thank everybody on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook for watching. Matt, I've taken up a side gig as an auctioneer.
Have you?
Yes, but the problem was I showed up and it was actually a Spanish auctioneer, and I don't speak Spanish. But I figured that if I talked fast enough, and I know the numbers, that I might get away with it. But no, I'm just joking. I didn't actually take a job as an auctioneer. Just
I was waiting for a punchline.
No punchline, man. No punchline.
That's how we do jokes here on the
This
3
is
a.m.
no,
Coney.
it's dry humor. Like
Drunk
why?
at 3 a.m.
Punchline indicates science. Humor's not science. Humor is
Next topic.
there is no next topic.
There's no next topic?
That's the humor. No, that's the thing. It's whatever you want it to be. You can laugh at whatever you want.
There we go.
Yeah, except don't laugh about like hurricanes or anything like that. Sad stuff.
No, which I was surprised that there wasn't more of that for the Dolphins game. Which, like, this team needs this.
Well, it was more Tampa. I guess. I don't know. I don't know if Miami Beach was that hard hit, but we had to cancel our Myrtle Beach vacation.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. I mean, Travel Guard is like, did the airline cancel the flight? No, Travel Guard. They didn't cancel the flight, but like, there's flooding on Myrtle Beach. I'm not going. I bought travel insurance. How are you not going to give me a refund?
Sanibel Island is no longer an island. I can't go there for vacation anymore.
I bought insurance. I bought travel insurance, and you're telling me that there was a hurricane at my destination, and because the airline's still flying to the airport, that I can't get a refund on the flight? Then what's the point of travel insurance? There was literally an act of God. Like, I don't know what.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Can't count it.
Can't count that.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and I know that this is now just primarily a Bengals podcast, but I am excited for the Bearcats game this weekend, which I will be going to.
Oh, nice. Where are you sitting?
I don't remember. I didn't get the tickets. A bunch of friends coming back into
that's
town.
fun. I love not knowing where you're sitting, and then it's great seats. My
matter.
one buddy, he's like, hey, you want to come to the Michigan game with me? He's a huge Michigan fan. I'm like, sure. I'm like, do I have to pay you for the seats? He's like, no, I already had them, a ticket, whatever. You know how you get tickets. You might be the second option, but hey, he thought of you, and so you love it, and those are all my great friends. So I'm like, okay, we'll go to the Michigan game. We drive all the way up to Ann Arbor. I'm great. Never been to Ann Arbor before. I'm drunk before the game. It's great. Walk in, and he just keeps walking down. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my gosh. We're corner of the end zone. Oh my God. We're row 4.
Oh my God.
We're
I was
row
not
4
prepared for this.
Yeah. That's the loudest I've ever heard a crowd. Michigan had a pick 6, and I wasn't really cheering. I had a broadcast like on Monday, so I didn't want to lose my voice.
Smart.
And so I'm sitting there, and it's a pick 6, and the crowd just loses its mind. And it was so loud in that stadium that it went like, ah, and then it went, ah, silence. Like, almost like it broke the sound barrier. I'm surprised there wasn't a sonic boom out of the stadium. It was the loudest I've ever heard any place. It was really cool.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I know we got a lot of Ohio State fans, but come on, guys. Like, it's all right. It's a great stadium.
Okay.
Just
we
like
can't be
Nippert's
pissing off.
become.
We already drag Browns fans every single week. So let's leave Ohio State out of this.
Yeah. But Nippert's becoming
there's a lot
really,
of Ohio State Bengals fans I have seen.
I think so too, and that's great, and we really appreciate that. But the 2030s, like with the way that Nippert's really, I think that the environment, everything that I've heard is that it's become an elite environment for
Nippert.
college football.
I love Nippert. And I didn't even know early on in college that Nippert was one of the like few of a handful of college stadiums that sold beer. I just thought that was just a normal thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is
It was
awesome.
a huge deal when we did it at Ohio University. It's like, oh my God, they're going to sell beer. And all the locals were like,
I don't have to sneak it into the stadium anymore.
all the locals are like, oh, they're going to burn down the stadium. I'm like, ma'am, those beers are going to be $9. Nobody's going to be buying beers. They've been sneaking liquor in
you
the
still have to
flasks
be
for
drunk
decades.
before you come to the game, and that's just to keep your buzz going.
And
you
anyway,
don't go,
everybody
all right,
at
I'm walking in sober, and 10 of these $9 beers later, I'll be good to go.
Everybody at Ohio University left at halftime after the marching band to go watch Ohio State anyway. So,
yeah,
it doesn't really matter.
Sounds about right.
Stadium or not. But Nippert's elite, and don't discount the Bengals being great of helping the Bearcats, because you always have that weekend of football, right? Cincinnati builds on each other, makes a great city environment. FCC in the playoffs. We're going to talk about those playoffs.
Potentially.
Games.
They needed to win the last game and not look. Are you watching Welcome to Wrexham at all?
No, I've seen it. I've wanted to watch it. But like we got Andor, Game of Thrones, House
Andor's
of the Dragon.
Great.
It's
Game of Thrones is great.
Lord of the
House
Rings.
Of Flaming Dragon. I haven't started Lord of the Rings yet, but watch Welcome to Wrexham. I mean, soccer, love it. Ryan Reynolds, love him. Rob McElhenney and Anything Always Sunny, absolutely love it. And then just going into everything about taking over a team and trying to figure out how do we fix this turf or get these players in, or what do we do? And they're trying to stay true to the history of the team and the community that's already been built around the stadium and in the city. And it's amazing, and it's causing me to think about those things with all of these local teams too. And not that I am any less vocal about decisions that they make or when they play terribly, but to watch Ryan Reynolds and Rob just up at 7 a.m. watching these games in this low league soccer team and just freaking out because they've spent so much money and they just want this team to get promoted. It's fantastic show. They're not sponsoring this, but fucking go watch it.
No, that's a great. Yeah, I've heard that it's good, and I think I'm gonna check it out. That sounds really fun. I think you and I should purchase a lower league English soccer team.
That was where I was going with. That was my segue into. They had started all their conversations because it was at the start of COVID. They had never even met, and they basically decided to do this over Zoom.
Wow, that's incredible.
So let's fucking do it.
Let's make
figure out
every
what
player.
team.
If you sign, you have to temporarily change your last name to Burrow. So we're gonna have 11 Burrows on the field. We're gonna have a Burrow at keeper, and a Burrow at striker.
Just change the mascot to the Burrows.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Jose Burrow,
Super Burrows, Jose Burrow,
Christian Burrow. He's like, I'm Christian Pulisic. I don't have to change my name. Yes, you do. It's Christian Burrow.
You're a Burrow now. We're all Burrows.
We're all Burrows now. Speaking of that, final thing, we have to mention this, and because we've got a lot of live viewers right now, take the time to go donate to the Joe Burrow Foundation at joeburrow.org. That was a huge announcement today. And I talked to Jimmy Burrow. I was at Ohio University over the summer back in early July, and he told me how excited he was for this foundation because all the positive donations that Joe Burrow has received, which is millions of dollars over the last few years, so much of that stuff has gone to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund, which is flooded with cash. Like, they are Athens County and Southeast Ohio, those food banks are loaded down for years, because of all the donations that people have given. But that kind of limits the impact that Joe Burrow and his family can have on issues that are just beyond food insecurity in Southeast Ohio.
Yeah.
So this is outreach into mental health. This is food insecurity in Louisiana, in Cincinnati, Ohio, not just Southeast Ohio. So donating to this organization is going to empower Joe and his family to make better decisions with the foundation and help Joe advance his goals a little more, because the Hunger Relief Fund is loaded down. It's fantastic. It's awesome. But its coffers are full. So this is going to help Joe and everybody pick some more charitable organizations to help build and grow, which is really fantastic for the family. They're excited for it. I think Robin is the secretary. Jimmy's the vice president. A lot of local business leaders in Athens and a lot of business leaders in the Cincinnati area and Louisiana are part of the board. It's a fantastic foundation. We knew Joe was going to do this, but we love to see that he's doing this before anything else. Like, this is coming first. He's setting this up. He's using the popularity of the Super Bowl to do this, and then everything else will come after in terms of endorsements and such.
Yep. Love it. Gave mine $9. Everyone else should do the same.
Yeah. Do you want to make a deal for every touchdown? No, because if I do that, listen, I'm kind of tight.
You want to bet
I'm
on
kind of
everything.
tight
Just
on
to
money.
Let it be.
I'm a little tight. So we're taking a big trip to Paris over Christmas break. So we're just trying to be
fun.
frugal. Oh yeah, and seeing the family in Germany, we're trying to be frugal. And I wanted to make a deal on the Twitter account. Hey, every touchdown Joe Burrow throws, we'll donate $9. But then he'll go out and he'll throw 8, and I'm like, no, Joe, that's way too many. I was wanting to donate like $27. Maybe we get up to the 30s mark. But geez, 7 touchdowns I can't handle. But I would joyfully donate that.
Yeah, go ahead and do that, and then he'll go off. He's just waiting for you. He's like, come on, Lucas, go ahead and make that.
If Joe Burrow isn't seeing the reaction to his foundation, I doubt he's seeing the 3 a.m. Coney tweets. But
I'm pretty sure that he has notifications on, and that's the only reason that he didn't get rid of his Twitter yet. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, there is going to be a moment. He's going to be in year 10, and we're going to have a preseason sit down, and there's going to be the hot dog logo in the background, and everybody's going to be like, how the hell did this happen? What's going on?
Started from the bottom.
Now we're here.
It's going to actually be at 3 a.m. then.
Oh, I mean, I bet Joe's up at 3 a.m.
Rented out a Skyline.
Ripping. It's like, Joe, we'll do an interview, but we're going to be playing Call of Duty at the same time.
He'd probably love that.
Yeah, I know. Something like that.
He's just a bro.
Pick a video game.
Just out here being a bro. Hey, Joe, pick my outfit for the day.
What do you think he's going to wear on Sunday? I got to guess.
You got to guess? I mean, I was thinking, so if you're looking at all the opposites, and it was like grandma's curtains suit last time, then it's probably going to be something more silver or shiny with black.
Black. There's going to be gold on his jacket.
A little gold on it.
There's going to be gold on the jacket. He's going to wear a jacket, and I bet there's going to be gold on it. That's my guess.
Black
I have
and
no.
gold.
I'm not reporting it because
this is live. You just reported it.
Well, no. I have no inside information. Let me put
okay.
it that way.
Gotcha.
I'm not like, listen, I have no inside information. I have no idea what Joe Burrow is going to wear. Nobody has any idea what Joe Burrow is going to wear except Joe. But I think that because of the Wink Martindale thing, and he just said in the media, oh, well, they had their backups out there, so I guess it doesn't count. Like, Joe, get out of here. You drop 525, you're going to be like, oh, it doesn't count. Like, especially he got a D coordinator fired. One of the most legendary D coordinators ever fired because of that game. So I think he's going to have black and a little gold, some gold on the jacket. That's my prediction.
Okay, I'll go silver, you go gold. We'll see who wins.
I bet if it's silver and gold, he's watching the show.
Combine it. He's definitely watching the show.
Definitely watching
he just points right at the camera. He just goes, "It's for you."
Yeah,
for you,
just
man,
somebody
Lucas.
with a weird Twitter name comment, I'm Joe Burrow, and I'll think it's the burner, and I'll live with that forever.
All right. On that note,
I'm ready.
Thank you to everyone that is watching. Thank you, Joe. We know that you are our number one listener, and go focus on football today, man. We're
He
giving
probably
you.
listens to like political podcasts or something. All right, we'll see you guys.